This is easy.
What is up, Goat World? It's me, your boy JDZ, and I'm back at you again with another Goat format video. You know what really grinds my gears? You know what really makes me upset is disrespect. What if I told you that there was a card in Goat format that was the most disrespected card in our entire card pool? That's right, it's gonna be the Airknight Parshath. There are so many iconic cards in Goat format. We're always talking about Thousand Eyes Restricting, Scapegoat, and Black Luster Soldier, and Pot of Greed, and people always forget that Airknight was right there bringing this format along. But now this card is just a shell of his former self and a laughing stock throughout the entire format. But guess what? Not today. Not today. Today is the day I'm going to see if I can give Airknight his opportunity to get back in the spotlight and give this guy the shine that he deserves. And I'm going to see if Airknight is indeed playable in this metagame right now. Today I will present to you none other than a deck I like to call Airknight Beats, aka Airknight Control, Airknight, whatever you want to call it. I just want to take some time to see if I can feature the Airknight Parshath, put him back into the spotlight where this card deserves, because I think this card is fantastic. I think it's a great card still, and I love this card. It's one of my favorite cards. Like I said, it's very iconic. It's a card that was highly sought after and highly chased down back in the day when it first came out in that Legacy of Darkness pack. It was a staple for an incredibly long amount of time. If you are a zoomer and you have no idea what this card is that is on your screen, I'll go and explain it to you right now. Airknight Parshath is a light fairy level 5 1900 attack 1400 defense that says if this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. If this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, draw one card. And let me tell you right now, drawing cards in Goat format is the most busted mechanic that we have in the entire format. So anything that can make you draw should at least be considered. This card kind of got relegated to out of the metagame because of cards like Gravekeeper Spy and Blade Knight, and anything over 2000 attack kind of sent this guy into unplayable status. But today I'm going to see if I can bring it back to prominence. As always, when I make these type of videos, I want to make a special caveat that these decks are not the most optimized deck. This is not the most optimal deck. This is just a concept, just an idea for something that you can build upon. Or if you want to try Airknight in your own personal dueling games, you can probably use some of these ideas and add upon it and make your own deck from that idea. So again, I want to put Airknight front and center in the deck at 3 copies. I have 2 copies of Mobius the Frost Monarch. Basically, this deck is a Monarch deck, and I just kind of replace some of the Monarchs with Airknight Parshath. The idea is to use cards like Brain Control, kind of capitalizing on the metagame. Right now, Book of Moon stock is incredibly low, which opens the opportunity for a card like Brain Control to kind of seek playability. Also, I've been playing a lot of Edison format, and I see Brain Control and how dominating that card is in that format. Granted, we don't have some of the same conversion they have over there, but still we have 3 copies of this card. And maybe with Book of Moon being down, you can use Brain Control, combine that with Airknight Parshath, and that can cause some serious problems to your opponent. Some of the pros I want to talk about Airknight Parshath, like I stated before, the fact that this card allows you to draw is just busted. So that's a huge plus for this guy. This guy being a level 5 is also pretty cool. When you pair that with Metamorphosis, there's some cool level 5 fusions that you can get. Also, being a light monster is pretty cool. Some of the glaring weaknesses of this card is some of the same things I mentioned. It being a level 5, you do have the tribute for this card, and only having 1900 attack is ridiculous. Being walled up by GK Spy and being cleaned up by Breaking the Magic Warrior and Zumbard the Dark is just terrible. Almost so much so that is essentially what is making this card unplayable. And the fact that Goat-based strategies have been at an all-time low. So the idea behind this deck is that I'm going to be able to use the card Brain Control, take control of my opponent's monster, tribute that for the Airknight Parshath. When I move their monster out of the way, it should free up a lane or some type of attack that I can get in with Airknight, get that plus back, and then continue to pressure your opponent. Another good thing about this card is that when it's on the field, it's going to cause your opponent all sorts of stress. They don't want you to draw. They're going to do everything they can to get this Airknight off the field by any means necessary, even if it includes playing Regeki breaks, discarding real cards, bringing out chaos before they want to, doing all kinds of things that are just out of pocket to get this thing off the field, because it's going to cause so many issues for them unless they have a setup spy and they don't have to worry about it. Also, I wanted to continue the Monarch theme, and I went with Mobius the Frost Monarch. I tried using cards like Genzo and other Monarchs in this position, but what what I really want to use this Mobius as is just like a battering ram for the back row. Just put Mobius on the field, call some type of reaction, and then I can clear the way for my Airknight in later turns, or maybe I can recur Airknight, or maybe I can bring Airknight out later. If I bring out Genzo, sometimes they'll just allow the Genzo to stick, won't use any of their back row, clear the Genzo, and now they still have those spells and traps. I want that Solemn Judgment played. I want those Sakurazi armors destroyed. I want the Ring of Destruction played, so that way it clears it up, and then the Airknight will come in later. Also, the Mobius can clean up those GK spies that Airknight just can't seem to get over. I also want to include some beaters as like a Batman style contingency plan. I have the one Zumbire the Dark and the one Berserker Gorilla. I couldn't figure out which one was best, so I just wanted to do 1 and 1. Again, it's not optimal, but I just wanted to keep an option in the event that my opponent does take control of the Airknight Parshath, which is a huge concern. That's another reason a lot of people don't use Airknight Parshath, because when he goes to the opponent's side of the field and he's doing damage on you, you don't have an out for it. So now I have the Berserker Gorilla and the Zumbira, and I have the spies to kind of continue to wall those things out. Also, I wanted to put a magical merchant in there because the theory, I can mill the Airknight to the grave, and then I can recur it with my premature burial. I can mill, get to a brain control with a magical merchant, tribute for Airknight, you know, typical stuff like that. And I just wanted to go scapegoats and meta in this deck as well. I don't really care about trying to do the whole goat control thing too much. I really just wanted a 4th and 5th brain control or change of heart via 1000 strict so I can sacrifice for the Airknight. So basically the strategy of this deck, I'm trying to take control of their guy, tribute it for Airknight Parshath, apply pressure, and try to get card advantage and win. Is the deck great? Probably not. Is Airknight great? Probably not. But I think this card is too cool and too iconic to not be used at all, you know. So we're going to see what we can do. And with the Airknight Parshath, I have some replays from my last dueling session that I had, and I'm going to show you some highlights and some lowlights of Airknight Parshath, and you guys tell me what you think about it. As we're hopping on over to the replays, go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel. We're almost at 8,000. I would like to see you all there at 8,000. All right, here we go at the replay, the very first replay. I have quite a few replays. I'm not going to show them all. I just want to kind of show the ideas and concepts behind this deck. Again, I know it's not the best deck, the most meta breaking whatever deck, but it's just trying to demonstrate the capabilities of Airknight Parshath in our metagame was the idea behind it. Okay, so I get to go first. I'm playing the Duelist Hummus. The Duelist Hummus right here, rocking the Plague Spreader Zombie, and they're rocking Necro Valley in the thing. Gravekeepers kind of been going crazy on the ladder a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just gonna spam the Zumbira, set the MST pass. They go ahead and go full breaker, pop the space, bash in with the Book of Moon, and they go Necro Valley up. So I'm like, damn, here we go. I go and rip the Graceful Charity after holding it, and I get double Airknight Brain right away. Game 1 right away. And I go ahead and pitch the Magician of Faith and the Call of Haunted because I really don't have a way to get through this Necro Valley, and those cards are going to be dead for a little while. So I was like, okay, you know what? I go full combo on my opposition. Go ahead and tribute up for Airknight Parshath. Smack on in for 19. Get me a plus. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate that. I set a couple traps. I feel they're not gonna play Heavy Storm into their own Necro Valley. I mean, maybe they might, but maybe they might not. They do have a terraforming, so who knows? So, and I was just talking about how people aren't playing Book of Moon, but it looks like Hummus didn't get that memo. He's going all these Book of Moons, but it does not matter. They go and try to take another Book of Moon challenge. Doesn't work out. I got this Ring of Destruction. I go ahead and send this Kaiko right on to the bin. Airknight still looking juicy, face down. I say, you know what? TT isn't real. Bring out Breaker, pop the terraforming, and smack on in for the Airknight Parshath, getting another plus from the deck. Cards going nuts already. And then I have the Delinquent Duo given to me by Airknight Parshath. Just rip it there. So my opponent just can't seem to have any other, just in case, you know what I'm saying, they got another solid card in hand, and they draw into the GK Spy. But Airknight also being a level 5, I'm able to go and make this Metamorphosis play here to bring out Repo the Nightmare Horse and not even worry about going into that set and just attack in for game. So that's going to be a GG. So Airknight hitting the field, doing a thing, the brain control kind of doing this thing, tribute of Airknight. Granted, this is against GK, so it's not, you know what I'm saying, the best, most optimal deck either, but still, the concepts and the ideas is what we're talking about. Every game is not going to be, you know what I'm saying, the whatever, but it's going to be what it is. So my opponent gets to go first. They got the Decrees in. I don't know if Decree is great in this matchup. They got the Solemn Judgment going, so they're going to set Decree, summon Kaiku. Is that the play? I don't know. To keep the Book of Moon in hand, I go ahead and take the Zumbira challenge and try to clean up this Kaiku, and it it works. I go ahead and set up. I got the Brain Mobius to kind of get out of the situation if it comes up. As my opponent go ahead and sets GK Spy, spams Necro Valley, and sets Solemn Judgment as well. So I'm like, cool. So I'm thinking here, I had a few options. Maybe I could have gone with this level 2. Looking back on it now, I don't know how good level 2 is in this matchup at all. You know, I thought maybe the GKs, they said a lot of stuff. They got these GK spies, but really at its core, the Gravekeepers is a very aggressive deck. So having Mystic Sword in level 2 might be a misplay at all. So we're going to see how that goes. As I go and take the Mobius challenge, get immediately Solemn Judgment. So I'm not really mad at that. I still have Brain, Airknight to kind of get myself out in the event that is needed. And I go in. You're going to flip spy here. Flip spy, add Spear Soldier. So I'm like, cool. I have these goats. I'm thinking maybe they sequence their attacks incorrectly. I can get these goats up, but they did it the absolute correct way. And I just say, you know, I'm just going to eat the damage and pass. I draw into the Delinquent Duo. I go ahead and take the Brain Control challenge. Brain up, bring out Airknight. Airknight is going to come on in and smack for a little bit of damage over the GK spot, and I get into another Mystic Sword. So I think I'm going to have to eat some crow for this misplay here by missiding. Bringing these Mystic Sword level 2 in this matchup, I don't think was the right call. And if these were, and if in fact these were mind controls, which they could have been, I would have been in a much better position, I believe. As my opponent is going to go ahead and flip GK Spy, grab the assailant, showing, you know, some glaring weaknesses of Airknight. Anybody over 2,000, this guy's just going to get creamed all day, and my life point is just going to get absolutely blasted. So I get the Sakaretsu armor. Sakaretsu armor is going to be decent, trying to maybe I could have went after the spy there, but no, I'm trying to preserve these goats and use those as defense. And if I can freaking get this GK assailant off the field, I can now play my goats and have a little bit of defense, maybe get some more cards. At least that's the idea. So I go ahead and set the Sakaretsu armor, pass, and I play the Sakaretsu armor, get Royal Decree, and then I can play my scapegoats to kind of just try to buy some more time. I get the Sinister Serpent, go and set it up on the field. My opponent gets to Kaiko the Ghost Destroyer, and they just got all sorts of power coming at me. I got these two really dead cards in my hand, just a terrible side decking choice, and I get another card that's terrible in this matchup too. So I think I'm just kind of I'm getting outplayed in the side decking portion here, as Pot of Greed comes, and then the Graceful Charity comes, and the Terraforming comes. So I'm really just in a bad spot, all done of my own. Like, I have to take responsibility for this as well, as my opponent's getting Graceful Charity, getting to the Delinquent Duo, rips the cards from my hand, and I'm just like, okay, and they bring out the end of Anubis, which is really cool. I think this card is super duper cool. Zero defense is hilarious, but I think it's really cool. So I get the Pot of Greed, which is great. I try to get my Sinister Serpent back, but then we realized like, hey, end of Anubis and Sinister Serpent, they just don't work. You cannot do that. Looked up the rules, everything is everything. Put the Serpent back, and then I bring out Zumbire the Dark and just scoop it up. So again, Airknight showing its weakness in that game. Game 1, it was really strong. Game 2, it was really bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and go on into Game 3 to see what's happening. I kind of fixed my side a little bit, just trying stuff out. You know, you don't play too many GKs on too much, but you know what I'm saying, you do what you're gonna do. So my hand's looking very orange. I go ahead and set Spy, set Saku, pass. My opponent go ahead and Delinquent Duos. Okay, so cool. I rip the Zumbira. I just send both Zumbira. Like, I got some pretty good flips in my hand. Maybe I can get those needs to go off. And then my opponent spams right into the GK Spy. So cool. You take 500. I get another Spy from the deck. Pass. I go ahead and set the Magical Merchant, throw it back on over to my opponent. My opponent gets a really good Heavy Storm. I'm able to chain Ring of Destruction. They're able to chain Book of Moon to preserve their GK Spear Soldier, play their Graceful Charity. So they got a Duo Graceful, a nice Heavy Storm. And this is what I'm talking about. These are some of the weaknesses of the GKs, man. This is why I don't like GKs, or I think they might need some help to make them an optimized or more optimized version, because you have some really good cards. You got a really strong Heavy Storm, you got a good Graceful Charity, you got a good Delinquent Duo, and still you're nowhere. Like, you're not like crushing. You know, you got a good tribe here, kill my 2 spies, and now you're literally just up 1 card. And it's like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that with the GKs. As I have the Tsukiyomi, which is representing a clean kill on both of these. I take out the Spirit Soldier first, just in case they draw into another Necro Valley. No big deal. I set the Sakaretsu armor. They smack on in with 16. I eat that. I think about Saku in here, but I hang on to it because I got this Tsukiyomi, which could easily take out this Tribe of 30 Virus. Tribe goes down to Sook. Sook just cleans up both. My opponent draws to the deadest, wackest end of Anubis. Pass. I go and set the Tsukiyomi just to defend myself a little bit in the event that I need to, and I can get this Mobius down and absolutely get after my opponent if need be. My opponent go ahead and brings out the Necro Valley. I draw into the Zaborg. I go and Mobius up, pop the Necro Valley, smack on in for 24, and then I pass it on over. My opponent gets the Kaiku, the Ghost Destroyer. They didn't take the Kaiku challenge. They didn't summon, try to play around to tribute. I don't hate that. And I think for a second here about not using the Sakuretsu armor. Maybe I can get a cheeky Heavy Storm or MST or Breaker or something, and Brain Control even, and take over. I don't know, but I say, you know what, I'm not going to risk it. Get the Sakuretsu armor down. My opponent main phase 2 summons the Kaiku, the Ghost Destroyer, and of course I get the freaking Mystical Space Typhoon. I go and set both on the field, pass it over. My opponent gets a Book of Tea. I don't know what you know about Book of Tayu in this deck. I gotta see what the list is. I didn't see the list, but Book of Tayu might not be the play, and I'm going to Sakuretsu armor this I'm going to Sakuretsu armor this Kaiku, the Ghost Destroyer. I'm going to rip the MST. Maybe I should have end-phased that, but I didn't really feel a need to do that. And now I'm sitting here, and this is bad Airknight. This is when Airknight's at his worst, you know, because I got no Mon to bring to the field. I'm just kind of sitting here chilling, but we're both sitting here chilling. And somehow I got up in cards. I don't know how I did that. And I see they set the Royal Decree, but I'm like, you know what? Tribe Infected Virus, just get in there. If they do anything, I can brain Airknight my way out of whatever they put down. And they go ahead and spam Necro Valley again, and I just summon forth Breaker, pop, and then get the cheeky dub. So Gravekeepers, they need some work. Airknight kind of showed some value in game 1, game 2, and game 3. Just kind of bricked and really didn't get a chance to do too much. But that is how it is sometimes. Okay, next game, I'm going to be playing against a duelist that goes by the name of Shadow Gabagool. Shadow Gabagool. Cool name. Cool name from Shadow Gabagool doing their thing. And it looks like we're playing against the Warrior strategy. And this is another reason why Airknight just can't be played, is because the Warriors are just too much, man. The Warriors are just too much. Blade Knight is just too much for Airknight Parshath. So my opponent goes out, goes first, trap does shoot. You guys already know what it is. Send back the Berserker Gorilla. And I feel that there is a freaking Solemn Judgment down there, and I try to MST snipe it before I can play my Pot of Greed, but I didn't hit it. I hit the knock, and then I just feel like a jabroni. So I set the spy, set the call, pass. Opponent gets Pot of Greed, laser level 2s my guy, smacks in for 18, and I'm just like, oh damn. Well, here we go. Warrior Blender. We've all been there. I take the Airknight challenge here, just see if I can get another card. Maybe if I can find some more defense, I can kind of get back in. I get the Torrential Tribute, which is not the worst card. As I pass it over to my opponent, they go ahead and hit me with the Exile Force, no big deal. And now this is another duelist still playing Book of Moon, which this whole time I was like, Book of Moon is out, Book of Moon is out. And two back-to-back duelists are rocking Book of Moon. I go and hit the Breaker, the Magic Warrior, gets booked immediately, and then they could just go ahead and hit me with the Heavy Storm, spam the Spirit Reaper, and they just rip my hand, and now I'm down 3 full cards, and I'm just feeling terrible about myself, drawn to the deadest knock you've ever seen. And then I'm just like, dude, this sucks, this game sucks, everything sucks, life sucks. And I'm just like, woe is me, as I'm getting beat down by the Warrior strategy, as they do. This is what they do. That's what this deck is built for. This is this deck's textbook playstyle. They just jump all over you, MST, and it's gonna be pretty much GG. So I'm gonna scoop it up there. Going into game 2, my side deck though, and the other cards I have are very good, and they'll give me opportunities to kind of, you know, balance the scales a little bit going into game 2 and beyond. So I open Delinquent Duo and I rip it, and then I go ahead and hit the Sakuretsu armor. They go for the Blade Knight here. Blade Knight into the GK Spy. Spy adds Spy, showing its immense value yet again. Spy doing its thing, and then I get into the Pot of Greed. So I'm just sacking my opponent. They sack me, I sack them. No big deal. That's how we give it up. And I go ahead and Berserk Gorilla into my adversary while smacking in with 2400. It all connects. I set the Saku, pass it on over, and they go premature here. Premature for Blade, and then they probably should summon somebody else besides this Blade, or set something or something. Yep, and then they're going to smack on in to the GK Spy, pass it on over to me. I think hard about using this Snatch Deal on this Blade Knight and just trying to send it. But you know what? I do. Yeah, I do. So I go ahead and take this. I take the Snatch Deal. I send it. go into the set mon with the DD Warrior Lady, and that's gonna be Spirit Group, and that's gonna absolutely end that duel. So sack for sack, no big deal. And then I go on into a game 3. So my opponent gets to go first. They go Graceful Charity, like, you know what I'm saying. So they're going back into the sack bag, and I'm like, okay, Delinquent Duo, please, please, please. You don't have to roll. There's a song out. You don't have to roll for Delinquent Duo.
You don't roll dice for duo. You don't roll dice for duo.
You do not have to roll, but they go ahead and snipe my freaking pot of greed. So I'm like, okay, this game sucks. Whatever, dude. Whatever. But it's just showing like how this is why people side brain control. I did have the Center Serpent to make the duo a little bit worse. But this is why people side brain control and Mobius against warriors, because a lot of their strategy is going to revolve from them attacking you. Brain control is going to be able to take control of their stuff. You tribute for Mobius is going to cause a lot of problems for them. So I'm still sitting here. I like to set all this crap onto the field. If you got Pro Set Heavy Storm, you got Pro Set Heavy Storm, and I'm just dead. But I'd rather keep my hand size low so I can't fall into another trap that shoot, because I need this Mobius to go crazy. So my opponent goes ahead and goes for the Spirit Reaper. I don't want to roll. I thought about this for a minute and just roll the dice, and maybe they hit the Center Serpent, but I just couldn't risk because I need this Mobius to just go insane. I go ahead and set the GK Spy. And I know that my opponent knows I'm rocking Sinister Serpent. They know that I know that they know that I have Sinister Serpent. So I do a quick little shuffle and spam that GK Spy down super quick. So they think that it's the Sinister Serpent, and it actually pays off, because you notice they have that Exile Force in their hand when they could have easily Exile Force the set card. But they thought it was Sinister Serpent. They thought I can get a cheeky bandage. But guess what? You've been bamboozled. You've been hoodwinked by the GK Spy, and now it's set up on the field, and you got to be feeling kind of bad. Maybe they can banish and then exile. I think that's actually not the worst play, even though I think that's still a neg on their part. They elect not to do that, and that was probably a crucial mistake, as I'm able to take control of the DD Warrior Lady. TT be damned. I'm blasting both with Mobius, and just like that, I'm back in. And not only am I back in, I have this Ring of Destruction, and I'm able to go ahead and steal a game that I probably could have most definitely lost, just showing the power of brain control and Mobius the Frost Monarch. Okay, moving on to the next replay against a duelist that goes by the name of Cartana doing their thing, and I am able to go ahead, and I think I got to go first again. Cool. Oh, Paul. Hey. So I go ahead and set the Spy, set the ring. They go ahead and rip the MST, and they set the shoot, set the duo pass. So they go shoot first, duo second, which I don't hate. There is a lot of back and forth about which one you should do first and when. I like to do duo first if the match is unknown, and I like to go shoot second if you know, duo then shoot, because there's too many warrior players out there and I don't want to get bamboozled. But this duelist elected to go shoot first, duo second, which is fine, getting a peek of the hand to see what I got going on. But I got GK Spy. I don't care. Spy add Spy, showing how good this card is. However bad you think Airknight is, that's how good you should think freaking GK Spy is. This card is insane of what it can do. So it's got two spies on the field, and he rips the Delinquent Duo. Trap does shoot, Delinquent Duo, don't care. Go ahead and keep rolling. Again, you do not have to roll for Delinquent Duo. You can
roll dice for duo.
Just rip from the hand, or if you roll, just roll the one time. You don't have to keep rolling over and over again. I draw third Spy, and I just continue to pressure. No sense of putting anything else. I just set another Spy onto the field, and they just keep bricking into oblivion, showing why your revivals aren't as good as they used to be, because they brick very hard, and you got BLS. Your hand's just completely bricked. You really can't do anything. You have to use a Regeki break to send a freaking plus GK Spy to the bin. That just feels horrible. As I'm going to continue to set cards on the field, opponent gets the Morphing Jar, and of course I draw Nomen to cross out like the sack artist that I am, and go ahead and send them on up out of there. So no big deal. As we're going to continue on to game number 2. Game number 2 is underway. My opponent has the Morphing Jar. They got Trap Dust Shoot and Duo again. Let's see how they do it this time. So they go ahead and Thunder Dragon up, and then they're going to play Delinquent Duo before Trap does shoot this time. So just changing it up. They're just doing a little different, just feeling out, doing a little bit of both. Again, they're just rolling so many times. You do not have to roll for Delinquent Duo. It's insane. And you're going to go ahead and hit the Scapegoat. I pitched the Mobius because I have this Premature Burial. Maybe I can get something cracking with that in the event. And then now they hit Trap does shoot, and they just completely whiff because I don't have any monsters to to send back, which is awesome. So they do know my hand. I get Graceful Charity, I send Brain Control, and I send Snatch Steal, and I play the Delinquent Duo. Probably should have actually sent that Delinquent Duo and kept some of those other cards. My opponent, you see what they did? I rolled once and I picked, and then they shuffled. You shouldn't do that either. That's definitely cheating. You should not shuffle your hand after someone has freaking rolled for Delinquent Duo or whatever. If I play Delinquent Duo, you should shuffle. But if I do roll, you should not be allowed to shuffle your hand. But it's all good. I don't care. I have no time for sharking onto the Go format dueling ladder. I'm here for the vibes only. And they flip the singing, smack on into the GK Spy. Spies are set up in defense position, and then they go ahead and set a couple more, pass it over. I set the Call of the Hunted, pass. They flip the Dekoichi, add another card. It's the Magician of Faith, okay, and I draw into the Pot of Greed, so I'm cool. I'm chilling. Add Pot, Knight, and Magical Merchant. I sacrifice for the Airknight, smack on into the Koichi, get another card from the deck, and then I pass it back on over to my opponent. So now they flip the Magician of Faith, and see what they do. They're going to grab back the Graceful Charity, so cool. Charity is up. 1, 2, 3. And now here we go. They have if this Airknight isn't here, they have so many things that they can do. They have this Tsukuyomi. They can reset Magician of Faith. They could do all kinds of crap. They could be wilding. But since I have this Airknight, they're like, bro, I cannot let this guy attack with the Airknight again. I can't let him get another card. It just makes people loopy, dude. It gets in your head. So you have no choice. He's gonna snatch the Airknight. He didn't even souk it. He just snatched it and then set the Night Ass, which is interesting. Maybe they're trying to get the Night Ass to pop the GK Spy, and then they can get on the assault with the Airknight. So maybe that's what I'm thinking here. And I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and go for a premature burial, and they MST that right away. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go for a tribe call Fairy to get the Airknight back, and I call it back to my side of the field, smack into the Magician of Faith just to get another card, and then I'm able to smack into the set monster, and it is in fact the Night Assailant. So it is what it is. I got a card, but I lost my Call of Hunted. I don't know what the ratio, I don't know what the card economy was on that one. I get the tribe to get killed by the Tsukuyomi, and then they're going to set the Magician of Faith, pass it on over, and I set the Night Ass, pass it on over. I got Mobius Brain Control to kind of get me out of whatever malfeasance is coming my way. So I flip here, and I think I make another mistake. Honestly, I probably should go for a premature here and just get the Airknight back and just cause more calamity to my opponent. I really should. I think I should go for Airknight, but I think I get greedy, and I'm like, okay, if I could just get a nice solid card here, I can put something together and win. So I go for Graceful Charity, and I just get greedy, and it just didn't hit. Like I did not hit. So I kicked some cards off to the bench, try it again with another Magician of Faith, and I'm like, okay, if I can get that Faith went off, so maybe this will go off too. Of course, my opponent is going to go ahead and get the freaking Nomen across out to hit my Faith. Hate to see it. And that are able to freely go ahead and set the Magical Merchant, smack it to Magician of Faith. So I misplayed pretty bad right there. I think I got punished severely for it. No big deal. It happened. And then they're going to hit me with another Trap Dust Shoot. But I also, this is another thing I want to point out. That's why I wanted to show this replay, is that this happens very frequently as well on the ladder and in tournaments, wherever you're going to play, is that if you have 4 cards in your hand, it's critically important that you do not just chain your Trap Dust Shoot, because you will be sharked. If this is like a game that matters or some type of tournament setting, or, for whatever, because if I have 4 cards in my hand, I hold priority in my draw phase. If I don't go to my standby phase, I can say player priority, and I can use my MST to destroy your Trap Dust Shoot before you can play it. So and I explained this to my opponent. I let him know, hey, you shouldn't do that. You should always wait to standby phase. You always wait till I pass that draw phase priority, because I have a quick play spell and I could play it. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a shark. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here trying to just get my game on. It's not that important to me, but I just want to make sure people learn those lessons, because it is that important to other people in certain venues. So if you're watching this, make sure you guys pay attention and don't just chain your Trap Dust Shoot in the draw phase. Make sure you wait to standby phase to prevent yourself from being rule shark. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get the Pot of Greed here. We're going to go ahead and bring out the tribe to clean up the GK Spy. I mean, you could have probably just attacked into it if you wanted to, but I think you just wanted to. I don't understand what that was all about. But now I'm thinking, dude, I'm like, I got these double brains, man. If I could just get Amon, dude, I can win. If I could just get a guy, I would win with my double brains, but it just didn't happen for me as I draw into the Metamorphosis. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait one more turn. If I can get a Mon, I can double brain my way out of this, and I'm lit. But you know what? I'm gonna take 16. I'm gonna take the 1,000, and I'm gonna get one more draw. I didn't get it, so now I gotta make the freaking suboptimal whack play that I didn't want to make, and I smack into the Sangan, and then I meta for the guy. But you know, I just need, if I could just get a guy, I would have been a lot better. But you know what? It is what it is. As we're gonna go ahead and get the Premature Burial, go for the Tribe Infecting Virus, discard. I go for a TT here, and they just got the Chaos Source as a follow-up. So I played that game very poorly, I think. I left a lot of plays on the table, and I was severely punished several times. And that's the way the game is played. Like, Go format is not like other formats. Like, if you don't play good, you're going to lose. If you play good, you still might lose. So that's just how it is. And if you play poor, you're definitely going to lose. So that's just how it is. And I didn't play very good. But you know what? This is what we're here for. We're here to show the good, we show the bad, we show it all. So that's how it's gonna be. So I get Pot, Set Faith immediately, like the sacker that I am, and I get Nomen Across out, and I see that my opponent only removes one copy, and I remove two, so I'm fairly confident that they have a Magician of Fate either in hand or that could be set on the field. I'm feeling pretty good, so I go ahead and rip the Nobleman here, go ahead and smack on in for 2 grand. Maybe they should have set this Magical Merchant and then maybe followed it up with the Magician of Faith next as their next set, since they had 2 good sets, but whatever. And they go ahead and set the Merchant now instead, and I have no choice but to attack into it because Berserker Will's effect. And I think getting Pot is probably better than that Mirror Force, but that's just me. As I'm going to go ahead and smack on in for 1,000, just trying to clock my opponent here as they go ahead and hit the Thunder Dragon up. Thunder Dragon for 2, and then they're going to set MST, set Mirror Force, set the freaking Mystic Swordsman level 2. So in the previous game, I noticed that they were playing Morphing Jar, and I see them set all those cards. I'm like, dude, you're not about to Morphing Jar me, not today. So I set a couple cards, probably should have set all these cards, and then I get Mirror Forced out of everything, get the Sinister Serpent into rotation, and then I go and try to make a Call of Haunted here to see if I can just keep the pressure and, you know, do it that way. But still, they got the Dust Tornado, no big deal. So I'm like, okay, I'm about to get Morphing Jar, but still no Morphing Jar. So now I'm thinking maybe this still could be Morphing Jar. It could be something. I have no idea what this set monster is, and it's just blowing my mind. So I'm sitting here, and I set the GK Spy, pass on over to my opponent, and they flip the Dekoichi. Dekoichi flips, and they're going to add a card from the deck. So I'm like, okay, what the hell is this? It's definitely not flipping. It's not, I don't know what it could be as they're continuing to draw. They didn't blow me up with Morphing Jar. I'm like, maybe it could be Sangan. I don't know what it is. So I go and add Spy from the deck to the field, pass it on over, or then they pass it on over, and I get the guy. I get Airknight. So I'm like, cool, Airknight, get in there, deploy. And Airknight is able to clean up the Dekoichi, and they're going to have to Regeki break. They did have a quality discard for it, so they're pretty chill there. I don't have a battle phase, so I'm going to wait until my next turn if I want to premature as they go ahead and use the Snatch Steal. Wasted the Snatch Steal on the GK Spy. I'll gladly take this 2600 all day, every day. I don't mind. Now I have the Mobius, the Frost Monarch. Cool. So I go for my own Snatch Steal. They MST it. Love to see that because now my Premature Burial is free to fly. I thought about maybe going Brain Control Mobius here, but this Brain Control Mobius can go a lot further than whatever this whole board is, and this Airknight's going to cause all sorts of problems with my opponent. So I just want to go 1 card Airknight into the GK Spy, noticing my opponent doesn't have any dark monsters. Bringing that Dekoichi into the bin might be a severe misplay. So I just want to get more cards and wait. Even though I know they can go Thunder Dragon, I'd rather them go Thunder Dragon, sack, and then Sork instead of me just giving them the opportunity to do that. So they're able to flip, and they reveal the freaking Mystic Swordsman level 2, and it literally blew my mind because you had opportunities to flip that thing and attack my set Mons earlier, and you just didn't. I don't know what the hell that was all about, but you know what? It shocked and awed me. So it must have been something. Maybe it had me working, but still, I was able to preserve that brain control, and now I'm able to go ahead and just take a quick little game shot on my opponent by just banishing, calling for Thunder and Warrior, and then just attack in for game. Okay. So my opponent didn't play too great. I didn't play too great, but still in the end, Airknight did what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? I got some kills, I got some pluses, I drew some cards, and it's gonna be what it is. Okay, so this one is just another one I want to show just really quick, just showing the raw absolute power of Airknight Parshath. Okay, the raw uncut power. When you play Airknight Parshath, this is what happens. These are the kind of hands that you get when you have 3 copies of Airknight Parshath in your deck. This is how you're gonna draw. Okay, this is how you're gonna draw. But when I'm on the dueling ladder and I get hands like this, full trend with BLS, you know what I'm saying? I literally just make a draw. I asked my opponent, I'm like, hey, I don't want to play. Do you want to draw? And he just said, yeah, he accepted it. I didn't even tell him what was in my hand. I was like, hey, just make a draw, dude. Just get out of there. Save yourself the time, because it's going to be bad news bears. And I don't want to sit. I'm not trying to sack people. I don't like sacking people, but you know what I'm saying? It's going to be what it is. The sack giveth and the sack taketh away. I'll just get out of there and I'll get another one. All right. So this hand look a little more normal. As I go in set spy, set ring, pass, my opponent's playing some kind of cool deck. It's like a Dimension Fusion water deck, which is interesting to say the least. They go and hit me with a Nobleman across out. I banish all of my spies. No big deal. They got the penguin, the Nightmare Penguin, which is just an awesome card. I think this card is so cool. And I bring out Berserker, hit them with the Nobleman across out, smack on in for $2,000. They don't eat it. They go ahead and pop the scapegoats onto the table. I go ahead and pass. They go ahead and creature swap me. No big deal. I wish I would have set those tokens now, man. Now I'm feeling pretty bad. They Mobius me for 24. I go ahead and send it to them. And they set the royal decree, pass it on over. I go ahead and then switch that bad boy back to defense position, smack into the token, set, play the Delinquent Duo on the Dimension Fusion. They got another creature swap, which is dead since I have these tokens in play. And then I smack on in for another 15 onto the token. They draw into another royal decree. The deck is just failing to function. I smack on in for another 15, and then they get another draw into an MST, and it's like, you know what, I've seen enough. And they just get the hell out of there. I don't blame them. I honestly don't blame them, man. I really don't blame them. Because sometimes when your deck just ain't decking, you just got to get the hell out of there. All right. But I just wanted to show that, just how many times have you just backed out of a full Trinity and offered a draw and they accepted? I thought it was pretty funny. All right. And the last one I want to show against a duelist that goes by the name of JT Camp. This replay is pretty funny too. JT Camp is going to be in the building playing that Relinquished control. Looks like Chaos Relinquished control or something like that. And we're going to go Manju. We're going to pass. And I'm going to pot. I'm going to get 2. And I got the boy. I'm going to take full combo whenever I get full combo. Bring out Airknight, and I'm going to smack on in. You're going to take 19. But guess what? Airknight might not be good, okay? But he is damn sure good if you're playing Scapegoats and Metamorphosis in your deck. He's going to be good against you. And we're going to set a couple more cards onto the field, pass it on over to my opponent. Opponent is going to be on the play. They're going to take the Black Illusion challenge right quick. Bring out the Relinquish. Relinquish going to do his suck mode on Airknight, and I'm like, okay, go ahead and eat up some goats. No big deal. You're going to have to pick off some goats here as we're going to take out 1. And I'm going to think about it. I think about this for a second because I was going to end phase I was going to hit this in the end phase, but I was like, you know what? Let's change it up. Let's hit the Airknight because I got this premature burial and I think it's about to go crazy as I go ahead and reveal the premature burial targeting Airknight Parshath. And now I'm able to clap up this Relinquish free and clear, take an additional card from my deck, set one on the field, pass it on over. They reveal Scapegoats. Look like they're going for maybe a Metamorphosis play or perhaps a creatures or whatever the hell they want to do. So they got another creature swap, which is just dead in the water. They go ahead and Metamorphosis, take over the Airknight again, this time with Thousand Night Restrict opposed to the Relinquish. I'm chill with this. I get the Tsukiyomi, which is great. So I go ahead. Hi, it's me, Editor DZ here again. And I don't know why I didn't just win right here. I mean, he could have just won, right? Just summon Tribe, pitch Suk, summon BLS attack. Whatever. I don't know what I'm watching. But either way, if you're seeing Editor DZ here, I got a question for you, though. Pancakes or waffles? Just type it in the comment section below. No context. All right. See you around. take Snatch Steal, Sook, take over the Thousand Eyes Restrict, and I take over a token. And I just start Sook looping with your own guy, which is just a feels bad type situation whenever this happens. As Tsukuyomi is now going to be able to try to clean up the Thousand Eyes, but I got Mirror Force, no big deal. So I go ahead and flip the Thousand Eyes Restricts, take over. Important, you don't go for another Sook here because you will not be able to reflip that Thousand Eyes Restrict. Keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Don't be out here misplaying. I see it happen all the time. You know what I'm saying? Just flip it, take it, pass. Don't go for another Sook in this situation. But now I'm free to Sook, as I thought hard about going for this Airknight here just to get that dude in motion. I don't have light and dark set up. I could have, I could have. I misplayed so tremendously bad. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad. I just caught that. Man, I'm bad. But it doesn't matter. I'm like in complete control of this duel, so it really didn't matter what happened, as they're going to go for a Thousand Eyes Restrict play here, which again, this is just trying to survive, and it just doesn't matter because I got the Heavy Storm, I got the Delinquent Duo, and I also have full combo with the Brain Control, and I'm getting another card from the deck, and it just makes it really difficult. Oh my goodness, I'm tired. I'm just bad. So my opponent gets to go first this time. Go ahead and Thunder Dragon up, and then they got the shoot. I hate Trap Dust Shoot so much. And they go ahead and reveal the Trap Dust Shoot, and they're going to send back the Sangan. So that kind of tells something, you know, about their situation. They didn't want to get smacked with 1,000, and they set the Spy anyway, and they go ahead and metamorphoses into Thousand Eyes Restrict. Cool, taking over my GK Spy. Then I had the Torrential Tribute, and then I set it up, and then they got the Pot of Greed. Okay, cool. I like not to play the Delinquent Duo because I know that the hand is very duo proof right now, so it's not going to get me very far. And they go ahead and bring out a Thunder Dragon. I think for a brief moment about just ripping this TT here, but I didn't. I don't think I did. I just kind of hung on to it. Don't want to get, you know, I just didn't want to do it. I want to get more run if I could. I got the Tribe in hand, and I'm thinking I just go ahead and set another card on the field, pass it on over. They got a lot of activity, electing not to summon to the Trent Tribute. I think that's very wise. You know, I think they even know that it's there, as I know that they have a Book of Moon. They have to. As I was just talking about how Book of Moon is there, I know this Book of Moon is just based on how they're playing. I know that they have Book of Moon, and I just try to get it out of the way now because I want my Brain Control Monarch to go nuts later on. And now they go ahead and clean up the Ashura Priest, and I TT the Sangan there to hopefully hope for a chaos push here. Like if they can go follow up with Sork or somebody, I would love that. But alas, they did not. They go ahead and just throw the Sinister Serpent out. So now the Sinister Serpent is down. Like, okay, maybe this is the best time to play the Delinquent Duo. I go ahead and rip it. Hopefully I can get something good. Of course, I get the Zumbira. They pitch the Thunder Dragon. I set one and pass. So now I'm hoping for them to do something to allow this Mobius and Brain Control to get the most longevity or the most value, and they continue to Black Illusion. Now they got full combo with Relinquished in hand. They got the Serpent going. I'm just in a down bad position. I get the Airknight, and I go Brain Control, and oh man, against my better instincts, against my better judgment, I go for Mobius first. That's his whole job, is to try to clear the way for Airknight. And I should have just gone Airknight here, and I would have been feeling a lot better. Even though he would have just got clobbered by this Zumbiro, just relinquished, it didn't matter. I should have gone with the Airknight just so I could get another card, and then I could smash into the field. Or I should have it wouldn't matter. I set the guy, pass it on over, and now they go ahead and hit me with a Black Illusion. They take over my guy, bring out Ashura, and that game just comes to an end. So I got cooked pretty hard, but this is me, my decision making. I look back on it and I think, what could I have done different? All right, so this game, again, I realize that they're playing Goats. They have meta, so I got Airknight. I should be feeling pretty good about it. My opponent go ahead and brings out the Senju or the Manju, gets a guy, knocks my guy. That's 3 out of the deck, and that's 14 to the head. So I'm like, damn, okay, this is a down bad spot already. And I go ahead and got the MST. I just shotgun it because I'm trying to get some value back as I get the Breaker, another Book of Moon. I was talking about how Book of Moon is down. Book of Moon seems to be up in this dueling session as they go and clean up the Breaker, the Magic Warrior. So now I think about it again. I go for a Snatch Steal here, and I say I'm not making that same mistake twice. I'm going Airknight right away. Airknight Airknight backed up by Premature Burial seems pretty good, as I got the Sakuretsu armor as well. So now my opponent is going to be forced into a Thousand Eyes restrict play yet again. They go for it. Thousand Eyes on the field, and I think I'm going to Sakuretsu this right away, get my guy back, because guess what? I have Premature Burial. Premature Burial is going to call back the Airknight. He's able to feast on these scapegoat tokens just like it's 2005 all over again. Back at his natural element, getting the card from the hand. I set the Sengen thinking that they might have knocked. I want this Magician of Fate to go crazy, so I'm going to try to get this Sengen knocked first, and then maybe I can get the Magician of Fate to go off. And my opponent has the Tri-Faded Virus. They elect to go for another Metamorphosis play. Metamorphosis is going to take over the Thousand Eyes restrict, and they go for a BLS. So they got BLS, and I'm gonna take the 19 to the head. So now my tribe is looking pretty decent, as I could have even, nah, that's probably not right. I probably could have gone for a Thousand Eyes take. Nah, that's not right. But I go ahead and take the Thousand Eyes challenge, and I smack on in to the token and say go. They got Tsukiyomi off the top, which is great for them. It's going to get a nice clean kill on the Tri-Fading Virus. I'm like, cool. I go ahead and set that Magician of Fate. Hopefully I don't get knocked. They go ahead and see what they do here. He go ahead and summons the breaker. I ring it up right away. Ring it up immediately. No big deal. And this is so this is so stupid. This is so stupid. Okay, I remember this. I go ahead and flip Magician of Faith, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got Premature Burial. This game is done. I check my graveyard. I'm like, I'm about to get this Airknight back and draw, and I can win. Everything is looking good. The math is lining up, because I did the Mobius math on the Airknight, thinking, oh dude, I'm so stupid. Look what I do. So I go ahead and premature, right? And I'm like, this is JDZ Plays Ghost. I'm winning this thing with Airknight. I don't care if game is on board with this Mobius. I'm like, whatever. I'm grabbing the Airknight and I'm gonna send it. I'm away. Oh, dude, I'm tripping, dude. I'm bugging. I'm like, whatever, dude. So I get another card. I go ahead and punch in with both, and I'm like, dude, I cannot believe I just did that. I am so freaking stupid. I go ahead and set. I didn't even set the Call of Hunter. I am literally losing my mind, as my opponent go ahead and goes for a tribe, goes for a Magician of Faith. I Sakuretsu armor it right away, and then I will pass, and then I get the stupidest Zumbara the Dark. I get the dumbest Zumbara you've ever seen in my life. This guy just can't do anything, but he's able to just sit here and hold down the board. I go ahead and bring out Zumbara. He dies immediately due to Tsukiyomi, and I get the spell cancel, which is just hilarious. I don't even know why I brought that in. I'm just tripping. I'm literally bugging. But Airknight was able to be called on it, and he was able to seal the deal and get the dub. So that was just a really funny duel that I had. I just really wanted to showcase that because I thought it was too funny. Again, like I said before, this deck, sorry this video is a little bit longer. Whenever you play like scapegoats and meta, the games kind of go a little bit longer, and maybe I showed too many replays, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys the good. I want to give you some bad. I want to talk about it. I want to give you guys some tips that I've learned along the way, and hopefully it'll make you guys a better player. But still, get down below, tell me what you think about Airknight Parshath and what you would do to make Airknight at least somewhat playable. That's the goal I'm going for this video, to see what we can do to get Airknight Parshath somewhat playable. It's an absolute travesty that this card is not played literally at all anymore. Get down to the comment section and let me know. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. As always, I'm JDZ, I play goats. Shout out to the real ones, salute to the OGs. Until next time, peace.